Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the B Rock RC show. This is your boy Bob Rock, and it's so good to be back and finally doing the podcast again. I know I've taken a long leave of absence. There's so much that went on, and trying to sort things out, and life happens, and some of which I documented on social media, and if some of you guys know what went on there. Uh, but yeah, I just put it that life happened. I had to get myself sorted out, and here we are. We're back again. Welcome to episode 20 of the B Rock RC show. So I think that's a big achievement. We finally, even though we took a bit of time to get back, we finally made it to episode 20. So thank you to everybody for listening in and sharing this journey with me and being part of it. You guys are all awesome, and you, the people, make the show. I am just, I am but a mere medium for the for the RC drift world. Uh, yes, it's so good to be back. So good to be back. Thank you, my friends. Really, Rob and Andre and Dennis and Valentino and Pascal. Thank you, my friend. Oh, geez, dude. You know what? We really got to talk. You've got some fantastic stuff, but we really got to chat. So yeah, guys, how's everybody doing? How's everybody coping with uh, the current pandemic? I must admit, it has been really, really tough while trying to deal with everything. But you gotta look at the resilience of uh, humanity and human beings. That whatever you may throw at us, we will still get through it. No matter what the situation, how tough it is, we will show that we can get through it. So don't ever despair and feel that this is it. No matter the situation, you can get through it. You are stronger than you think you are. So that's my bit of motivation for you. Yes, Rob. Topic Eminem. I'm saying Eminem. My bad. Emmen 2021. What do you guys think about that? I am so stoked about the goings on for Emmen 2021. Yes, I managed. I kept my ears to the ground and heard some very very interesting things. So we are definitely looking forward to Emmen 2021. We want to take another team, South Africa, up to compete in the RC Drift World Championships. Um, 2019, we saw a good team going up, team five of us. And once again, thank you to everybody for helping me get there to the Worlds. It has been a life-changing experience. Um, so yeah, guys, it's kind of bittersweet that Worlds didn't happen this year. I think in hindsight, thinking about everything, um, perhaps it's best that Worlds didn't happen this year, given the restrictions and whatnot. So I think that although it didn't happen this year, it's pushed a lot of people to get two worlds, which I think is going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing. I strongly think that we are going to get a massive crowd for worlds, given that we didn't have it this year, and I know that after last year, a lot of people were just like, "Oh, I should have gone. I should have been there." And I really wish I had met a few more of you guys, and it would have been so nice to meet the few guys that I haven't met before. Yes, thank you, Rudolph. I'm so glad to be back. I'm so glad that that I just pushed myself and said, okay, it's time I did what I love again. And I really do love doing the podcast. And once again, thank you all for listening in. This is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. So, Rob Nick brought up the topic about Emmen 2021, the A World Championship for RC drifting. And okay, so show of hands or comment or whichever it is, how many of you guys are genuinely interested in getting two worlds again? Because I've got both my hands up. I definitely want to be there for worlds uh, when it happens, whenever it happens. I sincerely hope I'm able to make it because even if you don't ever go ever again, you should always get one in there. You should always make one trip in there. Rev D Knuckles, any comments? We got from Jonathan. So this is how interesting. Thank you for your comment, buddy. Yeah, so I'll be straight with you. I haven't used the Rev D Knuckles as yet. Um, however, from the feedback that I've been getting from a number of friends of mine, it's an absolute uh, massive performance upgrade. So these knuckles perform really, really well. They definitely, everybody who I've spoken to have only the good things to say about those knuckles, and that it's really helped them increase the performance of the chassis. What's up, Perry? Yeah, always a pleasure, man. I mean, that's always been my motto in the RC drifting world is whoever asks me for help, I always do my best to try and help them as much as possible. And if I'm not able to help them, uh, I'm I'm able to link them up to people who are able to help. So that's been uh, my sort of motto. And also, I'm very honored and humbled that I know so many people with such vast experience that I'm able to draw in experience from all these guys and then spread that knowledge to everybody else. So, like I said in the beginning, I'm but a mere vessel for the RC50 world. Let's see. Yeah, oh Perry, dude, we are so looking forward to Emmen 2021. I think, in fact, I genuinely think that we're going to have a massive influx of drivers wanting to compete at Worlds. Uh, if not on the competitive side, but just to be there and experience what everybody else who's been there already have experienced, and it's nothing short of magical. And like I said, I hope I can be there. I got my fingers crossed. I'm gonna do my best to get there because it's definitely a life-changing experience that you can only experience. It's too difficult to describe. Okay, so Jonathan asked another question. How about the Oriolai new chassis? Um, I will be honest. I'm uh, I'm very curious about the chassis. I would love to try it out. However, I've had some feedback about that chassis, which kind of threw me off a little bit. So I'm a little bit 50-50 about it. I think it does have some it does have a very interesting design and some nice features, especially with like almost like a dynamic motor mount, which I found quite interesting. Um, but there hasn't been enough to enough feedback to really say that whether this chassis is absolutely fantastic or not. However, I did speak to Ko-san from Oriolai about the chassis, and his intention when he when he created the EX Zone chassis was that he wanted to create a chassis that's cheap and affordable, but also easy for a beginner to drive. So that's his thinking and his intention behind the chassis. I definitely think it's worth checking out for its price. For the baseline model, for its price, it's definitely worth just having a look at it. But I would wait a little bit just to get some feedback from other people before saying, okay, let me try it out. There are a few guys out in the US who currently have the chassis and are busy uh, driving there. So just have a look on Facebook. Check Kuo-san's page. I think he shared a few videos and pictures from the guys out in the US who's driving there, so you can link up with them and then just get some feedback there. Okay, so Perry says, hopefully within a month we know if you can give the green light. Oh yes! Oh my God, dude! Everybody's gonna be on your case about words. Everybody's gonna be asking. So when's the green light? Come on, did they see anything? Is it a go ahead? So we would love to know as soon as things are ready. Um, and I know for the fact we're gonna get a massive response. So together with Emmen 2021, I'm very encouraged to see the amount of competitions going on in Europe and Japan. And I know a few events have been happening in the US. Uh, Not a hell of a lot, just one or two, but the tracks are opening up. So it's nice to see people are getting out there, hitting the track, and just maintaining this hobby and reviving the passion within ourselves for this beautiful hobby. Out here in SA, we've been back at the track as well, uh, and oh man, we so missed being at the track. uh, it's hard to describe for people who are not in the hobby, to try and make them understand what being in this hobby does for us. For me personally, it's brought balance in my life, and it's been the best thing ever. So I don't think I'm gonna leave this hobby anytime soon. Let's see. Okay, so Jonathan says, "Nice, thanks for the answers. Always appreciate you. Welcome, bro. Got a tons of questions, but I'm gonna send them next time. You can send a few questions now. We don't mind answering, and I'm sure you guys don't mind answering as well. Let's see. So I wanna just touch on a little bit um, on a few things that we spoke about in episode 19. Let's see. We were talking about. Oh, again, we spoke about the new guys coming into the hobby and what they should do before buying a chassis is research. But newbies, you need to, if you're going to go on Facebook and go on a rear wheel drive group and then ask them what chassis to buy, you are actually wasting your time, because this question has been done to death. If you just go on the group and you just go to the search bar and you put in a few keywords, you'll bring up all of the info that you need. It's really a simple thing. It's not difficult at all. You'll get, because we keep on seeing the same questions. Oh, guys, I'm just getting into the new into the hobby. What do I get? The RMX or the YD2? You're gonna have a 50-50 answer. Half the guys are gonna tell you YD2. Half the guys are gonna tell you RMX. So, to be honest, there's a lot of info out there already. All you gotta do is search. Don't be lazy. Hit the search bar, hit in your keywords, and search. You'll find all the info that you need. Let's see. Oh, we spoke a little bit about some crazy custom chassis coming out from the guys in Korea and our guys in Germany, like Young Clooney. He's been doing some very, very interesting mods to his chassis. But at the same time, I also must give a shout out to a couple of companies. One of them being Team Jordan, creating the most magnificent looking conversion kit, or should I say alternative YD2 kit that you will see on the market at the moment. This thing is a beaut. It's been completely hand designed for, and a lot of R&D has gone into coming up with this chassis design as well. It looks magnificent. It has tons of adjustments for and also a few other little option parts that you can buy that just adds more and more performance to the conversion kit. So I think it's about time that we give these smaller companies a little bit more attention, even if you don't necessarily want it. But we got to look at the smaller companies that are sort of trying to make their mark, but at the same time creating products which are of real uh, value, and that will add real value and real performance to your kits and to this hobby. So once again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining in. For those of you who haven't heard me, and for those of you who just joined in, this is your boy Bob Rock, and this is the B Rock RC Show, a live podcast for the drifters by a drifter. Um, so yeah, uh, again, Team Jordan with the Beast Mode kits for the YD2, for the MST FXX, for the Overdose GAM. These guys are producing some fantastic, fantastic work. Go check them out on Facebook. You won't be disappointed. Okay, so Wolf says best would be that the newbies go to RC Drift team pages and ask questions there. Like, duh, exactly that. Um, and I think questions for guys like myself and a lot of other people who are in the game for a while and have a lot of experience, it's becoming a bit tiresome, which is why you don't see some of us commenting often, because we see the same question over and over. It gets a bit frustrating. And then, you know, we get a bit snappy because they're asking the same silly questions. The info is there, guys. Just hit search and you'll find it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Um, okay, and then episode 19, we touched a little bit about RevD and their pixel phase, in inverted commas, quote unquote, the pixel phase. I thought, look, at the first couple times for the first few products, this is very interesting. You're creating a bit of hype. You are making everybody curious. Okay, what are they hiding behind these pixels? But then for every single product, for every single little thing, they pull the same move. No, it's just overdone. It's just overdone. RevD, if any guys from RevD are listening in, please, we mean this in the most humble way. You overplayed the pixel hiding. You rather just not post a picture and post text, very cryptic text, or statuses, and then pull out the product, because your pixel pics are overdone, overdone. Let's see. Okay, so Pascal, does a forum, let's see, for drifting exist? Well, Pascal, if I'm not mistaken, they were, they used to be. If RE Extreme is still around, it's not really a forum per se, but it's more like a blog page where a lot of useful info is out there. They used to, yeah, exactly like what Wolf says. They used to be forums all over the place, but with the introduction of Facebook, those slowly died down, and now you'll hardly find any forums, um, especially for RC drifting. Uh, the thing is, yeah, for me, it's just a natural sort of evolve evolving thing that happened because uh, the way you can access information via on Facebook versus forums is way easier. Also, if you are a team or a single individual, like the guy from RE Extreme, I don't know who runs it, but if like for him, open a page on Facebook and run the page, it's hell of a lot easier than to run a forum, because with a forum you need to create a sort of a web page, you need to get hosting, then you got to pay for the hosting, and it becomes a mission. Yes, drift mission was another one. I think you can still go on there, but like it's dead. Hey, what's up, Kyle? All good, my bro. All good. Thank you for joining. So good to see so many of you guys on joining me on the podcast again. I'm really happy that restarted it and reactivated this, and I'm hoping to keep it going again. I'd say the closest thing to forum now would be Super G website. Yes, that is true. That is true. And I think in a situation like that, it would work because you have uh, customers looking at parts, and then with that you got a forum going on, be it for review of parts or how to's, that kind of thing. So yeah, in that respect, yes, that would work and it can be maintained. But a forum only space, that just doesn't work anymore. It's just dead. Still on the trip and only input. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a drift mission. I think before before pages on Facebook became a big thing, um, drift mission was the drift mission and RE Extreme were the go-to places for information, be it for a review of new products or how-tos or information about tuning, setup, and understanding what this whole thing is about. Yeah, those were the places, the go-to places. We had a similar forum here in SA. It was called 110, and that's actually where I started out, and I found a lot of friends there who I'm still friends with now, and I found my co-founder there as well. There's a lot of good memories there. A lot of good memories there. Yeah, see, and uh, I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the fact that we're reminiscing about forums kind of gives an idea of our age. No, we're not as young as we thought we were. Okay, so I actually had something a little bit different planned for episode 20. Some different topics that I wanted to speak about, uh, but Rob threw a little spanner in the works, but it's a good spanner, where we started the conversation about Emmen 2021, which is something that the RC world, is definitely looking forward to. Um, yes, there's a lot of competitions are going on which people are attending, and I think that's fantastic. It's good to see that people still want to are trying to get back to the track this quickly and safely. And big ups to all you guys out in Europe and the Far East and in the US, uh, for getting these getting these competitions back up and running. Okay, where the first Swiss parking lot drift events get started? I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't. Uh, so back to, you see, this is what happens when you don't plan yourself. So I had my episode 20 planned out, and I kind of got a little bit sidetracked. So let me get back into it. So the one of the announcements I wanted to make for episode 20 is to, oops, sorry about that. Yeah, so one of the things I wanted to uh, announce for episode 20 was um, something, yeah, dealing with RC drifting, but not going into the topics that I had generally discussed before. So just bear with me a little bit. It might sound a little bit boring, but just hear me out. Just give me a minute. So and now this is something that I'm also trying to develop into a book that I'm trying to write as well. And my first draft title for the book is called "The Winner's Attitude." So the premise behind the book is to, and I won't say dig, but to what makes a winner a winner. What is it about these people who are so successful at what they do, um, and what's the difference between them and just people who are just who just uh, in inverted commas normal or ordinary or average, should I say? Now, specifically to the RC drifting world, um, I have a few names of people who I feel are at that level. So I'm so interested into what makes them different. Why are they so good at at what they do? Is it because they are naturally talented that way, or is it simply because of the hard work that they put in? And then if it's about the hard work that they put in, what 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 kind of mindset do they have that makes them so successful in RC drifting? So I wanted to do a 3 or 4 part mini series like that, um, and just speak to these individuals who, in my opinion, are winners or are at the top of the game or are just like super talented. And I just want to just a conversation about what makes them so different. Why are they different? There has to be something, and in that I want to draw out a lesson for the rest of us that we can try and implement, even if it's one little thing that we can use from there and use that in our hobby or maybe in life in general. Maybe it'll help us uh, in some way. So that I would like to develop and do in the near future. So that's one of the things that I wanted to announce. So there was something that I wanted to also talk about, and I kind of forgotten what it was. So I'm just going to go through my notes really quickly here. Yes, we spoke about Team Jordan and their amazing work. We spoke a little bit about RevD and their new products that they are coming out. Some of I must admit, dude, you got it, but some of the products seem a little bit like, I mean, I get why you're doing it, but like, do you really need it? Is it really as fantastic as what it's hyped up to? We gotta always ask these questions, because just because a product is new and it's coming from a reputable company, it doesn't mean that it's the be all and end all of that part. and it doesn't mean that it's the best most uh, performing part that you can get. So, and with that, we obviously seen recently the launch of the Yokomo SX3. A lot has been hyped up about it. I think it looks fantastic. I'd love to have a go at it with the SX3. Um, but the question is it really that good? Unfortunately, we haven't seen a lot of shakedown runs with the SX3 just yet. I do have two really good friends of mine, part of Team Yokomo, uh, who are busy in the testing phase. So I'm definitely gonna speak to them and get their input on what they think the SX3 is like. So far that I have spoken to them, they're like, this thing is the bee's knees. So it's very encouraging to hear that for something coming out of Yokomo, given that RevD is also going to launch really soon their conversion kit as well, or their whole new chassis. I don't know. Might be a whole new chassis. We gotta wait for that pixelated pic, I think. That's gonna be interesting. So, but if if we had to judge them by the products that they've been producing so far, I think we gonna be in for one hell of a competitive drift chassis from RevD. So only time will tell till we know what's going on with the RevD and the new chassis. So I'm quite curious to see what is gonna happen there. So yeah. Anything else, guys? Anything else? What? Let's hear from some of you guys. What else are you guys thinking? What's on your thoughts? What do you see are the trends in RC drifting at the moment? I think perhaps we're not seeing any major trends in drifting because of the lockdown and people not having access to the track or access to their workshops to go and develop more. So people have really been doing little home projects uh, and doing some testing out at home. So I haven't really seen any major trends as well. Um I know my guy uh, Daniel Christoph has been working on a very interesting. Uh, he calls it the Frankie chassis. This guy is a genius, man. In my opinion, this guy is an absolute genius. The way he's able to bring together different parts and combine it into something so perform so well performing, it's ridiculous. I wish I had his technical ability and so that I can apply it to my chassis as well. But yeah, man, and like he just does it for fun. Like who the hell does that? You know, it boggles the mind. But I'm so impressed at people like him with that kind of talent and knowledge, and they don't just sit with it. You know, they don't just hoard that knowledge. They willingly share the knowledge, but at the same time, you got to make the effort to seek it out. So you got to go uh, and and ask nicely and politely. You know, how's about a little bit of help? And believe me, all these guys will help you as much as they can. Let's see, Pascal, train versus straight driving. Wait, what do you mean by straight driving? You mean like driving by yourself? Um, I haven't. Yeah, I think this. Maybe if you clarify that a little bit, we can have a conversation about that. But yes, um, I think it's important if if you are somebody who likes to compete or naturally competitive, you gotta get in when you practice sessions. You can't do it alone. You gotta be drifting with somebody else, so that you are able to gauge your level, your skill level, and you're able to gauge where, or you're able to see uh, where you're lacking and where you can improve. I know that for me, that's what I'm doing at the moment. Is I'm trying to drift with as as many different drivers as I can, just to gauge where I am in terms of drifting, and how I can improve myself. So and I'm having so much of fun with it. I know there's always conversations about competitive RC drifting and how we should keep it fun, and people concentrate more about the social side of drifting, and we're just there to um, bang doors and drive in a train. And believe me, I'm all for that. I'm also at my happiest when I'm doing that. But at the same time, I'm also really happy when I'm competing in a comp situation where you there and the nerves are hitting you and you can't hold your radio properly because you're so nervous. For me, I have an insane amount of fun doing that as well. So you can't really be mad at people who want to compete. You can't really be mad at people who want to just drift socially. But at the same time, you got to have a mutual respect for what each other does, you know. So and I've been seeing that a little bit on social media, where you get people who are I, I think, for the lack of a better description, people are a little bit overly sensitive when you when guys who compete, they try and explain to other people that, you know what, you want to drift properly, you want to drift socially, but you want to drift at pro level or comp level uh, sort of driving. Now, in order for you to do that, you need to up your game, or you need to upgrade your equipment. Now, you can't go and drift, join a practice and drift with the big boys when you're coming with entry level gear, and expect to perform like the guys with pro level gear. Come on now, let's be a little bit realistic. And then you wanna go and boast about, okay, I almost had him, I was keeping up with him, and you don't need this and that to do that. Guys, please, you're wasting your time. Just just be humble about it. That's it. All you gotta do is just be humble. Just go there to enjoy yourself. That's all we want. Yes, exactly, Pascal. Respect is the most important point, also as a adaptation to other drivers. Absolutely, I 100% agree with you. Let's see, Wolf, we had it a few weeks ago. We had a small event where everybody battled everyone. It was so much of fun. Yes, exactly. And again, you can have a little mini comp, and it doesn't have to be like this all out massive event. You can just have a random comp. You have a practice session, and you see there's a whole bunch of guys. Maybe you got 12, 15, 16 people. Then you just for the 5 minutes, or you just stop everybody, like, guys, okay, we're gonna have a pop-up comp, just a random comp. There's no real prizes, or maybe if there's something, like, maybe you can offer up uh, a free ticket to the track, or a discount on a ticket to the track as a prize. I don't know, something like that. And just to create a little bit of fun. I promise you, people will enjoy it exactly as we've said. You'll have a blast, and you'll find people will be coming back. So I think it's important to try and uh, revive the fun and the passion in people by having this little random events that's not too serious, but it has just enough of restriction to make it a comp and just enough restriction to make it fun. So I think that's something that we all could do with a lot of. Let's see, how long has it been? Half an hour, 40 minutes. Oh, cool. Okay, so yeah, guys. I think I'm right about at my end of what's going on with and what's the latest out in the RC drifting world. So thank you once again to everybody for listening in. I really, really appreciate all of the support. Thank you to all you guys for joining in. It's been such a pleasure having you guys join in and seeing all you guys coming back. I love you all. Thank you so much. So it's gonna be episode 21 next week, same time, same place. I will see you again, and this time we'll have a lot more to talk about on our podcast. I think I would also introduce part one of my mini series called The Winner's Attitude. It's gonna be focusing on the people in the RC drifting community globally. So it's just people who, in my opinion, are at the top of their game, and or and or it's people who uh, um, I've taken a liking to, or I've observed that they have this certain kind of mentality that completely sets them apart from the people, from the average Joes. Hey, sup, Cisco, how you doing, my man? So good to see you here and joining us back on the podcast. I've missed doing the podcast so much, so I'm really happy that I got back into doing the podcast. And thank you again for joining in, even if it is for a few minutes. Really appreciate it. So, like I was saying, yeah. So next week I'd like to start with part one of my mini series, and I'll be speaking to a few people who, like I said, I think are at the top of the game, and bringing you their thoughts, and hopefully there's a lesson in there for all of us when it comes to RC drifting, and let's see how that goes. So in the meantime, I hope you guys are still keeping up with the RC drifting and just going out there and having fun. I think that for the rest of 2020, we should just not really focus on any, not allowing the main focus of the comps to overpower what we love doing. And for the rest of this year, yes, go for the comps and everything, but I mean, go to the comp more to have fun than to, rule and dominate the competition. Um, we've had such a rough year, guys, and it's so nice that we can finally slowly get back to the track, uh, and taking in this hobby again and reigniting our passion in this hobby. So take the rest of the year and just have an absolute blast. Just have a ball with it. Do whatever it is you feel like doing. Try whatever it is you feel like trying. Experiment. Do silly things. Whatever it is. But obviously be safe. Obviously be safe. Um, and then let's hit next year up and running. Hit the ground running hard. Emmen 2021, guys, come on, we gotta be there. Everybody has got to be there. We need to make Emmen 2021 the biggest worlds that has happened yet. We gotta get in more people than we've ever seen before, and it needs to be absolutely packed. And I promise you, it's gonna be the most amazing thing. Um, we are gonna try and be there. Like myself, I'm gonna try and be there next year. And fingers crossed, we're waiting for that green light, Perry. If you're hearing me, we're waiting for you, bro. And then it's gonna be fantastic, man. I'm so confident that we're gonna get a huge crowd at Worlds. We're gonna see massive numbers because a lot of people have felt that they missed out and they want to join in the fun and take in the world's experience. Uh, and just like how I've done last year. Uh, and if you guys remember, I think I've had one of the most uh, extraordinary journeys going to worlds. It still makes me laugh. Okay, so hey, what's up, David? So David says it'll be interesting to see how many from every country will be allowed to go. Yes, yes, I think so as well. You know, with that being said, I think that uh, restricting the number of entries from a country, uh, I, I'm not so sure if that's such a nice thing. Or but then again, I don't know the thinking behind like in the previous years, the thinking behind restricting the number of drivers that's competing at Worlds. I don't know whether it was limit, just simply limit the numbers, the number of entries at Worlds, or or was there some other thinking behind it? Um, so it'll be interesting, like you said, yeah, definitely interesting to see how many people will be allowed from each country. If they are going to restrict the numbers from each country, I think that they should increase the numbers, the number of people they allow from each country. That way, a lot of people who actually wanted to either compete at Worlds or just experience Worlds are able to, uh, because I feel as though uh, some people wanted to compete, but they were a little bit disheartened because they either didn't qualify or there were just too many people, that kind of thing. Let's see, last year was 20 from each country. I think if we go like at least 25 to 30 from each country, I don't think that should be too bad. We'll get nice numbers there. Let's see, 16 from non D10 countries. Well, well, sorry, I'm just hearing things here. Okay. Anyway, um, yeah, let's see, 16 from D110 countries. Well, we gotta ask, is the D110 series still a thing in Europe? Is it going to be a thing? So I think we gotta ask that question as well. Anyway, guys, I think that's it for me for today's episode. Thank you again so much for joining in and for commenting. I really, really appreciate it. It's nice to see that guys are engaging again. And I promise you, next week I'm going to bring a much more interesting podcast, something a lot more prepared, and hopefully, uh, my intention for episode 20 was to try and have some sort of giveaway for all the listeners here. So I'm gonna I just need a little bit of time and I'll put something together for everybody, and I think you guys will like it a lot. So thank you once again for joining in to the B Rock RC show. This is your boy Bob Rock, and I will catch you again next week, same time, same place, right here live on Facebook. Um, so keep well, stay safe, and I'll see you guys again. Peace.